Hello again, you're welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Wealth. I'm currently a 50th medical student of the University of Ibadan. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing 13 tips or pieces of advice I wish I got before I got into university. Tip number 1 is that you have a clean slate and you are responsible for writing whatever you want on that slate. The first time I heard this was 100 level. I think during one of our orientations, someone mentioned that. And this makes a lot of sense. I can confirm that after 5 years, myself and many of my classmates, we've written a lot of stuff on our slates now. And I'm just telling you this, and I want you to go with that mentality that your actions, your inactions, your decisions, they're actually writing something on your slate. And your slate is what eventually defines you after a number of years that you're going to spend in the university. So I want you to set goals right from the onset. Before you even get into school, set goals for yourself and be conscious that everything you are doing and everything you are not doing is actually writing on your slate. That is going to make you more proactive. Tip number 2 is that exposure shows you what is possible and you should seek exposure. Our environment determines what we are exposed to, but in this age of social media, in this age of internet, I think we can get exposed to way more things, and I want you to be using your internet or your social media for the right things. When I was in secondary school, I did not know much about the world around me. I didn't really know much about anything. All I knew was I was meant to pass my secondary school exam, pass my O-level exam, pass my UTME, and get an admission to study medicine. I didn't know anything about anything else. When my medicine admission was not seeming to work, I changed the course to another course which I did not even understand. I didn't know what career prospects were there for me if I eventually studied the course. Luckily for me, I did not gain an admission to study that course and I came back to medicine. But on getting to medical school, I've seen a lot of things. If I could go back in time, I would have appreciated being exposed to more things. Then I believe I would have made a decision to do more stuff before getting into university. But it is not so late. When you get to university, that's the beautiful thing about university. You're going to get exposed way more than you currently are. But I just feel like it is going to be nicer getting the exposure before university. So use your social media properly. Things you want to do, look at people that are already doing it. Seek mentorship from them. You can do way more than you can imagine if you can conceive the idea and see that it is possible for you to do. Now the problem is when you're not exposed to something, you don't even know that thing could be done in the first place. Stop more of doing it. Tip number 3 is to learn a marketable skill. If I could go back in time, one of the skills I'm going to learn is coding. I'm going to probably learn coding or programming or something in that line. There are a lot of skills that are marketable. It could be writing, it could be video editing, it could be copywriting and so on. There are a lot of skills. It not only increases your value, you could actually make money from it while being a student. Another beautiful thing I've noticed about learning skill is that when you learn a lot of small skills, those fragments can actually come together to form a piece, in the sense that the combination of your unique skills from different areas can come together beautifully and form something that is great. For example, I started learning about copywriting, and the copywriting I learned about was definitely helpful for me in this YouTube channel. It helped me know, okay, this is a way to make title that is clickable. This is a way to make thumbnail. I learned about the psychology behind the writings and stuff when I was learning about copywriting. Well, I'm not a copywriter, but the skill, the knowledge I got from trying to learn copywriting was useful in other areas of my life. Tip number 4 is to make a lot of research about what you want to study and the institution you want to study in. If you can watch this video, then you can get almost whatever information you want. There is a way you research enough that you will almost always get an admission, regardless of your UTME score. And I feel like the decision of what school you choose to study in and what course you study in can actually shape the trajectory of your life. It can steer you in one direction or the other. But I also need to say that the course you study in school doesn't necessarily define you. I've seen many people study different course and eventually do something else entirely, and they are very successful at the something else they are doing. Make enough research before you pick a course you're studying, and also make enough research to pick the school you want to study in. Tip number 5 is to work the hardest to gain an admission, to study the course you've researched, chosen, and love. Many people want the professional or the highly sought after courses, and it's not possible for everybody to get this course. The time you're spending to work to prepare for UTME or your O-level exam is not a long period of time, but these exams can actually shape your life. It can actually decide whether you get the course you want or not. But not getting the course you want doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. But getting the course you want, as I can testify to that, actually, because I wanted medicine so much, I never imagined myself doing something else. Being able to get the course despite the odds against me at some point was really something that made me very, very happy and confident for the longest period of time. I'm genuinely still happy and grateful to God that I'm studying medicine right now, and I want you to experience that. This is what I used to tell myself. I'll tell myself that, okay, I'm going to suffer for 1 year so that I'm going to enjoy after. Number 5 is that university is not just about the formal education. There is more to university than formal education. There is the connection, there is the exposure, like I've said earlier. So in university, you're going to make friends that can shape you. You're going to see things that are possible. You're going to see people that are going to inspire you to do more. You're going to see people that are going to show you that, oh, there is more that could be done. You're going to see new interests. I have way more interest now than I had before I got into university. So I want you to actually seek these things. Don't force it, but just keep your mind open that opportunities are always going to come your way in university, and you should look out for the ones that interest you and align with you, and try your best to do well at them. Tip number 7 is to read books as they widen your horizon. I'm not a big book reader. There were times I read books and they were very, very helpful. And the time I read books were time I actually needed the information for the book. For example, I read book on learning to learn because I was interested in learning how to learn. And this reading of the book was like eye-opening for me. There was a time I was trying to learn running a successful business. Reading book opened my horizon, and I was very happy I found out that books could help, and I did not know this before university. Before university, I just found reading books so boring and waste of time. So I would advise that if you have a challenge, you have a problem you're facing at a point and you want a solution to it, consider books, try them, and they probably will work for you. And that's probably how you're going to get into the world of reading books. Number 8 is to embrace the mistakes and avoid the costly ones. You are definitely going to make a lot of mistakes. Like in the daily life, you're going to make poor choices sometimes that you just look at yourself. How could I have done this rubbish? I could have done this better. Many times we get angry at ourselves for being such a stupid person, if you allow me to say that. Anytime you make such mistake, just embrace yourself and forgive yourself. And what I tell myself is that, okay, this thing I was not meant to do it this way, but now that I've done it this way and I'm here, I promise myself I'm not going to make this kind of mistake again. And once I do that, it's just makes me free and makes me move on. But there are some mistakes that are also very, very costly. I don't need to spell them out, but there are some mistakes that could directly change one's life path and cause one to slow down for very long. Please avoid these mistakes. You know what they are. Avoid them as much as you can. Number 9 is to accept and love yourself as early as possible. What I've noticed is that the way you treat yourself, the way you present yourself to people, is the way they will also treat you. If you don't really like yourself and you think you are not worthy of anything, this thing is very easy to, people will read that energy and also treat you that way. But if you put yourself, if you rate yourself, like we would say, people will usually not treat you poorly. And if they do, because you have this self-worth, you would remove yourself from such gathering. You will remove yourself from places where they do not value you. You not put yourself in such condition where people treat you poorly, because you know you are worth something. Tip number 10 is to embrace your uniqueness, your weirdness, your not fitting inness, if there's such word. I'm sort of introverted, and when I was younger, there's this way I would see my friends going out and having fun. They just enjoy the social life, but I wasn't really much of that person, and it made me feel weird too many times. But I think this is something I use to the best of my advantage. My introversion, being introverted, helps me stay more inside, helps me think about stuff. Time I would spend going out, because I don't really enjoy that. I would rather stay at home and study, or stay at home and think about some creative ideas, and really it helped me. Number 11 is to develop great habits. One of the best books I've read so far is Atomic Habits. It's a really good book I'm going to encourage to everybody. It's about building good habits. Build habits like working hard, reading consistently, saving money, managing your spending, because all those things are going to add up to make you someone you are going to be so proud of. Particularly about working hard. Yeah, you should also work smart, but the hard work cannot be removed from the equation. People that you look up to, people that are doing great things that you can see now, they've put in a lot of hard work in it. And I want you from now on to develop the habit of working hard. Work hard to gain your admission, work hard to learn that skill that you're interested in, work hard to build something, to build a career that you'll be so proud of. Number 12 is to not fall for peer pressure and don't do drugs. I know people growing up together that they did not need to use drug. I don't think anybody needs to take a drug in the first place. But how they got into taking drugs is because they had friends that were cooler than them and bigger than them. And these friends would smoke, for example, and they'll be like, me, I want to be as cool as this guy, and they'll try to smoke. From one stick comes two sticks occasionally until they become addicted to it. And many people would sometimes reach out to me that they wish they could stop, smoking, for example, but it is difficult to stop. Drugs won't help you. Please don't do drugs. Don't start at all. Last one, which is definitely not the least, is to seek God yourself and know Him yourself, and not just practice religion. And that is all from me today. If you found these tips helpful, kindly like this video and please subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed. Yeah. If there's anyone that particularly stood out to you, out of the 13 tips, if there's one you resonated with the most, please put it in the comment section. I would like to see it. And if there's any piece of advice you'd like to give to somebody else that has worked, or to me, I would really also appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.